welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the part 2 of my top 3 in every category video, and today's version is going to be all of my top 3 of drugstore products. So we'll get started off, do it the same way as the other one. I'll try to go as closely in order of application on the face throughout the video so that it's a little bit easier to follow. Starting off with primers. So hands down, my favorite primer at the drugstore, you probably know this by now, it's e.l.f.'s Jelly Pop. I think that this is phenomenal. I think it's such a great primer. It's in the same family of primers such as Milk Hydro Grip, J1 Jelly Pack. I'm a big fan of both of those, and I do find this to be such an affordable dupe that it really can take the place of those. If you are spending a little bit more money on the more luxury products like this, I think you'd still be just as happy with e.l.f. Jelly Pop. Now this is for a very specific person. If you are okay with feeling that sticky, tacky, you know, really sticky to the touch base, I think you will really like this because it makes your makeup last considerably longer. It really does provide your skin with that stickiness that gives makeup that extra boost of longevity, and especially with someone that has a dry skin type like myself, I think this is again incredible for helping disguise dry patches on the face because it keeps them almost like moist. I know that's not the best word to use, but it helps prevent the visibly flaky areas on my face from becoming more apparent throughout the day and preventing makeup from clinging to them in a way that's going to make them more noticeable. So by far my favorite. Can't recommend it enough. Now the other primer I really like is also from e.l.f. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. Typically, I avoid primers like this because I find them to be quite distracting. I feel like it feels like another layer of makeup on my skin, and I just don't find myself reaching for these like silicone-y, silky primers. But I do find this one to serve its purpose, and I do reach for it more than I thought that I would. So it comes in a little pot like this, and it's a solid product. So I shave off little bits at a time when I want to use them. And what this is the best for, in my opinion, is providing your skin with a barrier between your skincare products and your makeup, as well as the natural oils in your face, so that it helps you from getting more oily throughout the day. And thus that's going to help with makeup breakdown. It's going to boost up the longevity, and it also just really helps control the oils on your face. That's really what it's great for, as well as if you do have any areas on the face where pores are a little bit more visible. This is great for kind of smoothing those areas on the face out a bit more so that makeup lays down a little bit nicer. Just for example, you know, if you wear a luminous finish foundation throughout the day, I'm sure you notice that in areas where pores are a little bit more visible, it's almost like they look like little craters on your skin. This helps hide that and blur those on the face. It's also really nice if you have any areas of texture on your skin, so from active breakouts or little bits of texture from post acne healing. This is great for helping camouflage that and just provide you with that nice smooth layer to really get makeup on top of it blended out as nicely as possible. Another one that I've really been liking and I've mentioned before on my channel is the Revlon Photo Ready Rose Glow Hydrating Serum Primer. I'm sure you can tell by now, especially if you watched my other top 3, I really love serum primers. I like the way that this one is true to other, you know, more expensive serum primers, how you apply it to the skin and then within a couple seconds you really do feel like the product has fully absorbed and you're left with that beautiful bouncy moisturized base, and it just makes the makeup blend out and look so much better. So it's truly a primer in that sense where it gets your skin primed and ready to go for makeup application, but you will not feel the lingering product or like primer in the traditional sense. It also does have a little bit of illuminator to it, which I think is beautiful because if you are somebody that wears a little bit more light coverage products, it peeks out from behind. But you can also use this as something to break down formulas that are a little bit thicker. So something that's really thick and full coverage and you have a difficult time blending it out, try something like this and just mixing a couple drops into the product. I think you'd be surprised at how much a serum primer can really help you cut down on thick formulations of makeup and just really make the blending process so much easier. Moving into luminizers, the first one I want to mention is something that I don't physically have with me right now, but I have spoken about it for literally as long as I've had my YouTube channel. It has been my absolute favorite. I've used it up entirely. It's actually something that I'm putting in an online cart for Ulta right now because I need it back in my collection. It's the Revlon Photo Ready Skin Lights. I kid you not, that illuminator is like a piece of me. I think it is better than anything I've ever used, high-end or drugstore. I just think it is the most perfectly formulated illuminator. It has been like probably the one product I have recommended literally since my YouTube has started. I can't even emphasize that enough. It is my favorite illuminator ever. I love the bronze one and then the champagne gold shade. I'll link them both in the description box, but I'm sure you can find countless videos of me speaking about them because I love them that much. When they actually were discontinued, I bulk bought the old bottles of it, and then when it was getting revamped and put back in stores, that was the #1 thing that I got notifications from all of you about because everybody knows how much I love that. And the Revlon Skin Lights, favorite illuminator of all time. Now the next one I wanted to recommend is from Maybelline. This is the Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. This is touted as a full-on base product that you wear as like a foundation, concealer, and a BB cream. I personally find this being used the most as an illuminator. I really like it as an illuminator because I like that it has the skin tint to it, if you will, so you get more of a custom perfect match where it really replicates your skin in an accurate way. So the strobe isn't gonna be just like a straight up champagne or bronze. It's gonna look a little bit more like a luminous skin tone on your skin, and you can mix this in with your makeup. You can wear it on top or you can wear it underneath, so it's really nice in that sense, or you can wear it on its own. But I really do like using this as like a true illuminator. That's the way that I find myself using it. #3 is gonna go to the Versed Glow Drops. These are the Mood Lighting Glow Drops with peptides and blackberry extract. So I have 2 shades. I have bronzed and then golden. I like them both, but I find myself using golden more frequently. There was a Chanel Tan de Soleil liquid. It kind of came in like a little pot contraption and you would pour it out through a spout, almost like an essence, and it was really fluid and liquidy, and it just had the most perfect light amount of strobe to it, and it just looked really gorgeous on the skin and set down to more of that like gel glossy finish. That is what this vibe is. This sets down so pretty on its own. It looks phenomenal mixed in with your makeup because these don't have any noticeable like chunky amounts of strobe to them. It's a really nice consistent pearlized luminous finish, so you're gonna look really natural and gorgeous in the sunlight without it being distracting and looking like you have glitter on your skin. Moving into foundations, I've spoken about this again many times, but it is the Light Illusion foundation from Flower. The shade Tawny, again, I just feel like I got so lucky, and it's such a perfect shade that if I take the time to really prep my skin and then blend this in and work it in just the right way, it looks like bouncy, I just had a facial skin. It's just exquisite in my opinion. I love the way this really gives you that like bouncy, plush, perfectly dewy looking skin. It's not overly oily. It looks just right, healthy, moisturized skin. The formula is beautiful. It's just got this really nice plush creaminess to it, and you can apply it with a sponge, a brush, or your fingertips. I absolutely adore this foundation. Then we have the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. This is one of those foundations that feels really lightweight and fluid on the skin, but it builds up. In terms of pigment, this really packs a lot of punch for a small amount of product, so you can go anywhere from sheer coverage all the way to fully flawless, and it layers on top of itself really nice because it does dry down. So it's one of those foundations where if you really do want to cover a lot of things, you can do that with this without feeling like you have a ton of product on your face. and I'm just always so happy with the way my skin looks with this. I'm impressed with the longevity and just the way my face always looks when I use this. Now the last one I want to mention is the one that I'm really excited about. It's what I'm wearing on my skin today, and you can see I've got a lot of good coverage in these areas, but I do have, you know, under eye concealer on, but nonetheless, it's incredible. It's the L'Oreal Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Skin Serum. This is the True Match line, and I love this. It is so lightweight. It's got a good amount of strobe to it. Like, maybe you can see it on the back of my hand. It just blends into nothing. You can see I've got that little bit of a tint, but the unique thing about this skin tint is that it's really buildable. So I'll show you another layer. I'll just quickly blend it out, and then you can see just all the light reflecting off the back of my hand, but it doesn't look greasy. It feels really nice and lightweight as well. That's kind of what I really want to go for with foundations, is if I do have a particular day where my skin needs a lot of coverage, I want to be able to get coverage but not have to use a ton of product. So I like things that set down but layer on top of each other nicely, and I still want to have somewhat of a radiant finish. I never really reach for matte foundations too much. Concealers, so I absolutely love the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer, arguably the most comparable to NARS Radiant Cream Concealer that I've ever found. So all the qualities that I love about NARS, I love about this one. I will say, I think this one's a little bit more radiant than NARS, and I feel like it's got a little bit more of a noticeable luminous finish to it, but you can control that by setting it down with powder, and I just love this under the eyes. I think it really wakes them up and gives you that really pretty beamed up looking under eye. And then I also like using it as a liquid highlight on my skin. It's creamy, it blends out beautiful, and I think the best way to use it is to just use the heat of your fingertips to really press it in and get that product nice and worked in. This is L'Oreal True Match Concealer. I've been wearing this literally since high school. It's one of the ones that I like keeping in my collection because I do really love the L'Oreal True Match line. It's one of my favorite lines at the drugstore. I feel like the undertones L'Oreal is really good at getting right, and this shade specifically is one of my favorites for really brightening up the center of my face. So I go for the shade Light Fair in the warm section, and I really like using this just for that brightened little bit of color right under my eyes. I think it's probably the best one because it's somewhat self-setting. It sets down to more of a powder satin finish, so I don't have to use powder when I use this for brightening. And then the last one I really like because it's super moisturizing, so really nice on a tinted moisturizer day or just a day where I'm only going to be putting a little bit of concealer under my eyes. It's from Physicians Formula. It's the Natural Defense Total Coverage Concealer. This has a lot of coverage, so a little bit goes a really long way, but it's very moisturizing. So it sheers out really nicely without looking cakey or dry, and I feel like it just looks really good on no makeup days especially, and just tends to pair really well with tinted moisturizers, or just, like I said, this is like my no makeup day concealer, whereas these are a little bit more like when I'm going for a more glam or brightened, beamed up, radiant looking under eye. I like this for a day-to-day look a little bit more. Powders were so easy for me because I really genuinely love these powders. I'm so picky about powder that I always know which ones are my actual favorites. So the e.l.f. Hello Halo powder, I love how this is luminous. I love that it is a loose powder. So I love the way that this looks under my eyes. I love that it gives added brightness and luminosity to the skin, so you never look too matte or too chalky. It looks so pretty underneath the eyes because it gives you that nice luminous glow, and it's not too intense of a strobe, so it's really ideal in my opinion. Now the other one is from NYX. It's the No Filter powder, and again, really similar to a luxury favorite of mine, and you can really see in the pan, the powder itself reflects back light. It's got that nice silkiness to it when you run your hands through it, and I feel like you might even be able to see on the back of my hand, the powder itself reflects back light. So I really love these luminous powders because they give your skin a little bit more glow and reflection so that your skin looks really nice and luminous without looking like glossy, if that makes sense. So it's not gonna give you like a sheen on the skin, it's just gonna give you a little bit more glow and like make you look a little bit more healthy. Now, the other one that I love is from CoverGirl. I've spoken about this one a lot too recently. I love the Clean Fresh Pressed Powder. You can wear this as a setting powder. There's a translucent version, which I really like as well. Or you can wear it on its own as just a foundation, which I actually really love too. But I think setting with it is also really nice. And again, it's not completely matte. There is the tiniest, faintest bit of pearl to this powder. So again, it will never make you look chalky. And I find that the way you get coverage out of this is by really buffing it into the skin. And that's how you'll start noticing it's like covering things on the skin. Whereas if you take a really loose brush, like if you use something like this, you're not gonna add so much coverage to the skin to where you look cakey or mask-like. So you can use a loose brush and still set down concealer and foundation without having to worry about like you went overboard on the base. Moving into bronzers, I wanted to first mention the Butter Bronze from Physicians Formula. I've been a big fan of this for a lot of years because I really like how emollient the formula is. It comes in a bunch of different shades. This shade, it's like the perfect amount of depth and contrast to my skin tone that it actually creates some definition in my skin. Now, I also really love the L'Oreal True Match powders. I think that these are really great because they're actually formulated to be face powders and they blend out beautifully into the skin without looking like an added layer of powder. I tend to go for the ones that have cool undertones. This one is in C7. I've also used, I believe, C9 or C8, and I like that shade as well. And I just like how when I use this as a bronzer, it's kind of no fuss, no muss because it's an actual face powder, and I just find that you can shop around a little bit and look at face powders and really pick a custom shade of bronzer. So you don't have to just specifically go for bronzer if you don't want to. And C7 has been a great one in my collection that I've actually reached for quite a bit. And then the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Bronzer, really beautiful, a lot of light reflecting, and I really like this as a bronzer topper. So putting this on top of one of these to just give it a little bit more of a luminous quality, and it just makes the bronzer look a little bit more multi-dimensional. It makes it have a little bit more of a glow to it. Okay, blushes. This is not gonna surprise you. It's been a huge recommendation from me for over a year now, and I still have this going steady in my favorite makeup for day-to-day collection. It is the Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon Blush. I'm sorry, I was gonna say bronzer. This is so beautiful. If you are a brunette with tan skin and you just want that perfect shade of flush that's not gonna be distracting, too pink, too purple, whatever it may be, this is going to be your go-to. You can see it's just a warm nude shade that perfectly pairs with any eye color, any lip color, and especially really flattering for just day-to-day when you don't want something super distracting. Now, the other one is from PYT, and this is their Hot Flush Blush in the shade Flirty. What a beautiful muted berry tone. I know I've told you before that I really am picky with berry tones, but I think when you can find the right one, they tend to be one of the most flattering blushes. And especially now that we're going into fall, I'm starting to get really excited about wearing berry tones again. All right, the last blush I wanted to mention is from Maybelline. It's the Cheek Heat Cheek Gel. I like how this is sheer. I like how it's still buildable, although it's sheer. I like how it just looks like, I hate to say the word nothing. I'm just gonna do a little swatch on the back of my hand so you can see. I like how it looks like nothing. Like, it's just barely there. And that's what I like with blush. I don't want anything that's too in your face. I like how these just complement your makeup look without being like a distracting part of the look. And this is the shade Nude Burn. I think you can see the color family that I like. I like neutral, nudie flushes. This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. It's from Pixi. It's the Pixi by Petra Glowy Gossamer Delicate Dew Highlights. Mine unfortunately broke the pink one, but it's actually not that tragic because it's the gold shade that I love so much. This highlight is truly unique. It's truly one of the best highlights I've ever used. It really gives you a glossy, dewy highlight, but it's a powder. And the formula of the powder itself is so silky and it's almost buttery. And then you get instant foliage. Like, look at that reflection right there. So you need such a tiny amount, and I love how when I sheer it out, it just looks like a really soft light gloss on the skin. Now the other one is an actual like glossy balmy highlight. It's from Flower. It's the Day Glow Illuminating Glaze. I love the formula of this. I love how for being like a okay, another one that I really love is from Flower. It's the Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. What I love about this is that it's actually uber sheer. You can build it up, but because it is a balm, it's gonna get a little bit more sticky if you put too much product on. But I think it's so special to have a balm highlight like this that's actually truly sheer and really just looks like a soft glisten on the skin. So I don't wanna use the word sweaty because I know that's not the most appealing, but it really does just look like a soft little glisten of oil on your skin. It's really pretty. If you use just a little bit, it's not going to look bad. It doesn't cause lifting with your makeup. You won't have patchwork to do. If you're really a minimalist with makeup, you'll love it. Now the last one I wanted to mention is from Milani. This is again just like a classic powder highlight. Again, looks like I don't use it, but y'all know that with me with highlights, I really don't like going over the top. I just want my face, well, I wore a little bit more today, but for general day to day, I just like the highlight to like lightly catch the light. Obviously when I'm on camera, sometimes I put a little bit more on because I want it to show through camera, but I just lightly tap my brush into this, and I really like the shade of this. It's a really beautiful soft gold, and I like how it's not too intensely shiny. So like if you compare it to the one from Pixie, that's a little bit more of a foiled metallic finish, whereas this one's more of just like a soft filter of a glisten. Something like this makes it a little bit easier to avoid going overboard. When it came to setting sprays, I was actually like, there's only two that really do it all for me, and I feel like if you took away every other setting spray in my collection in terms of drugstore, these two would still cover the bases. So when I want a really glossy, moisturized, dewy look on my skin, it's the L'Oreal Glow L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. That's a ridiculously long name, but I've repurchased this at least 3 times. I routinely go through this. I really like it. It's a bi-phase product, so you do want to make sure you shake it up, get that oil suspended throughout the formula correctly, and then spritz it over the face. It will instantaneously take away cakiness, over powdered skin. If you feel like you have over applied your makeup or you need some time to rework and blend products, you can actually use this to moisten those products back up so that they're able to be reblended out. Or if you feel like you overdid it with the foundation, spray a little bit of this on, take a clean brush and really buff that out so that you can lift up some of the overdone makeup that you've done on your face. Can't complain, nothing to complain about it. So for dewy days, that's really nice. And then on days where I am concerned about longevity and really increasing my makeup wear time, the Makeup Revolution setting spray. Now keep in mind, this is a liquid, so even if you do feel like you've over powdered or your makeup is just looking exceptionally cakey that day, when you do hit it with a couple mists of this, it's going to help negate all of that cakey and powderiness, and it's still going to leave you nice and matte, and it's gonna completely boost up your wear time. This is again one of those setting sprays that I will actually stand by the claims of it increasing longevity, because I see a noticeable difference in my makeup when I use it. I feel like a lot of setting sprays are aimed for creating more wear time. Like, I don't know if this says, this one doesn't. This says it sets your makeup, but I feel like if you're gonna say that something's gonna set my makeup, it needs to increase the wear time. This is not going to increase wear time. If anything, this is gonna shorten your wear time. But something like this completely will increase your wear time. And another hot tip I have for you, try the sandwich technique. Apply this first thing after skincare. Apply the second layer after you've done foundation, concealer, any liquid product, and then set your face with powder. And then once you've done all the rest of your makeup, do the final spritz. It will keep your makeup essentially like shellacked to your face. You will notice such a increase in wear time. So test out my technique. Tell me if it works for you. Moving into brows, I'm gonna start off with the Revlon Color Stay Brow Creator. I've managed to misplace mine. If I can find it, I will insert the clip, but if not, I know you've seen me use it in a video because it's one of my all-time favorite brow pencils. So it has a nice dry formulated bullet to it, so it never really makes you look too cartoony or like you've overdone it with your brows. And then you can actually open the component up in like the middle section, and then there is a brow powder. I would not recommend using the sponge tip applicator because I do notice a lot of fallout under my eyes when I use that, but you can easily just swatch it on the back of your hand and then pick it up on a little angled brush and use that to fill in your brows as well. So you get a really great 2-for-1 with that, and I love the shade black. It's such a great match for my eyebrows. Now the other one I've really been liking is from Maybelline. It's the Brow Ultra Slim Defining Pencil. So this one is in the shade black, and again, it's not too black. It's like the absolute darkest brown that they could make, and it really matches my brows perfectly. I love the ultra fine pencil. I'm really into these tiny slim ones right now because I like how I can just get a more natural, realistic looking brow. And again with this one, really nice dry formulated pencil to where it's not too creamy and it doesn't move around your eyebrow space that much. I know I've actually talked about this on my channel before too, and I really mentioned how much I enjoyed the shape of the brow pencil. This is from PYT. I think they changed the name of it though. This is now called Brow Goals Pencil. I don't think that's what it used to be called. And I do miss the old packaging because this actually used to come in kind of like a soft touch rubberized matte packaging, and I really liked that about the pencil. But I absolutely love the shape of this brow pencil. It's a really unique one. You can really create soft brow strokes, or you can apply it horizontally and really get like a full-on soft amount of color to essentially save time if you just want to run it through your brows that way, or you can hold it obviously vertically and get those little hair-like strokes. I'm going to mention just one brow gel, the GOAT, because you know I'm really into these glue shellacked brow products right now, and this is the one. It is the NYX Brow Glue. Really similar to the, I know it's not Refi, that brow sculpt product. This is like really similar to that. Really similar to the Anastasia Brow Freeze Wax. Just any of those like gluey brow products that I'm so obsessed with. You can get the same result with this, and it's obviously a lot more affordable. It's still that really tacky, sticky gel, which I know doesn't sound super appealing, but if you are somebody that likes to be able to get shellacked or feather or fluffy brows, I think you will really love this. And it's so sticky, so it just really lasts a long time on the brow area. Moving into eyeshadows, I have to mention this first because I feel like it's being discontinued. That's the most difficult part about drugstore products. I feel like all my favorites continually get phased out, and then I'm recommending you discontinued products, and I'm 99% sure that this is discontinued, but I was able to find it on a couple different sites. So snag it while you can. It's the Glow Down by Maybelline. So this is a single shadow that is so beautiful. It can be worn on your eyelids, but it also doubles up as a illuminator on the face as well. It's just such a pretty, almost like pearly gold with a little bit, just a tiny hint of pink to it. So it's just so pretty, and I absolutely love this. I've been such a big fan of it for years, and if this gets discontinued, I'm really just gonna be super bummed about it because it's one of my favorite single shadows in my collection. And then I'm also a really big fan of the L'Oreal Brilliant Eyes. I have multiple different shades that I really love from this line, but I'll link the ones I really like. The one I pulled today is Brilliant Lava, which is a hybrid between an antique gold and a bronze and almost like a honey amber shade. It's really unique. I don't have anything else like this in my collection, and again, I know I say it all the time, but super complimentary to brown eyes, brown hair. It's just one of those unique shades that's really gonna help make your eye color pop, and it almost pulls out the honey tones in brown, so it's really beautiful. These are long wearing. You can wear them sheared out or built up to something a little bit more opaque. Very similar to like a Glossier Lid Star, but more versatile in the sense that you can build these up better than Glossier Lid Stars. But if you just want a whisper of color on the eyelid as well, you can get that too. Are you tired of hearing about these? I've been talking about these for so many years, but they are truly one of my favorites in my collection. It's the Revlon Color Stay Cream Shadows. This one is in the shade 710. You can tell she is well loved. Very similar to anything else you are going to get in this like formula from a luxury brand. So MAC, Tom Ford, Chanel, and Charlotte Tilbury, any of those cream potted shadows that I love so much from luxury brands. If you're not so much chasing a shade and you just want a really pretty, creamy standby shadow, try 710 from Revlon. I think you'll love it. It's obviously one of my faves, and they last, they look beautiful. You can apply them with your finger. They're so intuitive to use, these cream shadows, because you can just dot it on the eye, blend it out. You get a nice, beautiful wash of long-lasting color. Well, hi there. It's me, Editing Dacey. I just finished importing all my footage so I could get to editing this top 3 drugstore favorites, and realized as I was going through the footage, I didn't even tell you my top 3 favorite mascaras. How I skipped out on that section is beyond me, so we're gonna do this old school on the MacBook. I know if you've been watching me for a while, then you know how much I love this mascara and how I was so sad when they discontinued it for a while and then it was brought back. Why do all my favorites from the drugstore get discontinued? That's something that I'm noticing a reoccurring theme here. But this is the L'Oreal Telescopic in the waterproof version. This is absolutely phenomenal. I love the long brush. Ugh, itchy nose. Ugh, my nose is itchy right here. I just get over, you know, summer and spring allergies, and now here come the fall allergies. But I absolutely love this thin brush. Not really going to give you a ton of insane volume, but it's going to give you really nice length. The really tiny short bristles help give you a little bit of separation as well, and then in this little crevice of the brush, that's where all the product is setting. So if you want more of a defined look, I would say don't let the crevice touch your lashes, because that's how you're going to get a lot more of the mascara deposited to your lashes. So when I want the effect that I want from this mascara, I apply it with the corner of the brushes. It really gives you such pretty natural looking length and just a tiny bit of volume. But if you're looking for volume, you're not going to be going after this one, but it really just kind of has that effect like lash extensions on your lashes. That's what I would compare it to. Another long-standing favorite that I have used for years and in constant, you know, monthly favorites videos, makeup tutorials, everything. It's the Maybelline Lash Stiletto. I'll really never get over this one. I always repurchase it. I always get the waterproof version. This one's a bristle brush applicator, and I really love not only the length and the volume that I get from this mascara, but just the overall effect, because you can wear it naturally applied for the daytime, but you can also really build it up for some added volume at night. It's actually the mascara that I'm wearing right now, and I don't have my Lashify extensions on. Just use this mascara and a little bit of primer, and it's always so good. And when my lashes are like extra long, because I've been using Latisse, I adore this one. Like, I really love the way this looks, especially when my lashes are long. The last one I wanted to mention is from Maybelline. It is the the Falsies Lash Lift. It's got a hourglass or dumbbell shaped brush, so you can see the two sides come out, and then right in the middle you've got that dip. Now the unique thing about this brush is if you do use the shape to apply the mascara, you get a little bit more deposit of product on the center lashes, and it really does give you a little bit more of that like opened up doll-eyed effect, versus you can truly just wiggle it around like this, and then you're going to get a lot more even dispersion of the product on the lashes. But if you do apply it like this in a straight upward motion, that was close, I almost broke myself, but if you do apply it in this straight up motion, you get a really nice effect. Those are my favorite mascaras. What? Okay. I am not used to filming on the MacBook Pro. Moving into lip pencils, I actually really struggled with this section because I had so many I wanted to mention, and it made me think that I need to do an updated favorite nude lip pencils, nude lip colors, glosses, things like that. But I narrowed it down to my easily most used 3. So the first is NYX Nude Truffle. I go through these routinely. Like, I am always using these up. I constantly sharpen them. I mean, I wear this shade almost every single day. So Nude Truffle is just, in my opinion, the perfect overlining, lip contouring, neutral shade that literally I will not be without this. It's always in one of my purses. It's always near where I can grab it and wear it for the day. And then the other one is, again, one that I've mentioned many times, Keep It Spicy from LA Girl. This is a little bit more of a rosy nude brown. Really pretty, super long lasting. That's what I like about this one the most, is it has the best longevity out of these 3. This one doesn't tend to last that long, so I am constantly reapplying it. And then the last is Toffee to Be from L'Oreal, the Color Riche line. Again, one that I've spoken about many times. This is a little bit more of a cool toned mauve. It's a little bit deeper as well, but still super pretty, and I really like wearing this on a day-to-day basis as well. And I'll swatch all 3 of them right beside each other. You can tell. These are just the shades I like going for because I can wear these with a red lip or a nude lip. They just always work. And I really like nude lip pencils, I guess. Okay, and then we have lip colors. So the first is, no surprise, it's gonna be Brazilian Tan from Revlon, my ultimate dream nude. I don't ever think I'm ever gonna stop repurchasing this. It is truly the most perfect nude to where it never washes you out. It's still got enough warmth and color to it that it doesn't make you look dead, and it doesn't wash you out. It's absolutely perfect. I love the finish. I love the formula. I love this Revlon Brazilian Tan till I die. Then we have Maybelline's Naked Dare. Again, a more creamy, reflective finish. This one's a little bit lighter than Brazilian Tan, and also a little bit more on the peachy side, but I really like this one paired with a brown lip liner. Truly, if you are a brunette, brown hair, brown eyes, medium skin tone, these nudes, these nudes will make your eyes stand out even more because they just complement your skin tone so well. They mute the color of your lips and just make your eyes stand out even more. So cannot recommend these 2 enough. And then for glosses, you cannot go wrong with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro glosses. They are phenomenal. My favorite shade right now is 870 Frosted. Look at how glossy and pretty this is. It really makes your lips look drenched, wet, juicy. It is so glossy. I love this. I'm also such a big fan of the Rimmel Stay Glossy glosses. This one is in the shade Bare Minimum, which is a really pretty nude, and I love Blushing Belgraves. I love, why can I not think of the names right now? Regardless, I've mentioned these in countless videos at this point. They are always a favorite of mine. The clear one's even really good. They're so nice because these glosses actually last longer than other glosses do. And then of course we have my milky favorites, the Burt's Bees Lip Gloss in Spontaneity, which is a really pretty sheer, cool toned, milky brown. So gorgeous. Pair this with lip liner, you're good to go. And then the last thing I do want to mention, because I had to throw this in here, is the e.l.f. Ride Dye Lip Balm. I love the shade Sugar Cookie, and then because it's summer, I like this pink one. It's actually in the shade Grapefruit, and it's this really pretty, soft, sheer, bright pink, and it's actually a dupe for something that's like triple the price of this, so I'm gonna have that in a dupe video too. But look how pretty that is. And oh no, it smells like grapefruit. It's so nice and refreshing. So I love those e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balms. Cannot recommend those enough either. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have an amazing day, and I would love it so much if you would subscribe, and if you'd come follow me on Instagram too, that would be amazing. But other than that, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye everyone.